.807, 70 degrees outside currently. Your high today, 90. The phone number is 751-1041, 751-1041. Today, starting at 10 o'clock, you can go on out and join the beautiful man, also known as James T. Harris, broadcasting live at the Breakmasters, 22nd Street near Harrison. Come on by, say hi to James. You can watch the show take place live. Pick up your tickets to the 5th anniversary party for 1041 The Truth Casino del Sol, Saturday afternoon, May 12th. Katie Pavlich, Roger Hedgecock, Jerry Doyle, and S.C. Cup. Myself, I'll be there as well, Jon Justice, along with James T. Harris and you. But you got to go on out and get your free tickets. And if you can't make it down, then have a friend, family member, relative, pet, go on by and pick up your tickets today. Go to the website, 1041thetruth.com. You can get more details not only about the event, but also if you can't make it down today, where else you can pick up your 1041 The Truth anniversary party tickets. Also, find out about Buddy's deals at the website. Save you 50 to 90% off local restaurants, cool places, special events. Go on by and find out what today's Buddy's deal is. So far for a Monday, we have learned that eating dog jokes are funny. Maybe not to everybody. If you're the president, apparently they are. Let's see. Bullying is in the ear of the listener. We've learned that as well. Bullying can vary from person to person, but it is a very effective way to label what you believe is inappropriate behavior and then stunt criticism. Also, we can no longer use the words lunatic or illegal. We're off to a rousing start for a Monday. I got an email, a couple of emails here. Marilyn writes in. We were talking about this last hour. There was a story, and I won't recap the whole thing. But Dan Savage, he is this tool for the radical progressive left. He's a gay man. He's founded this group, anti-bullying group. It Gets Better. He was speaking to a group of some 1,000 people with some 100 high school students in attendance over the weekend. During which time he acted, well, very uncivilized. He went on a Bible-bashing rant. He's a sex advice columnist, calls himself Savage Love, gay rights activist. He went on a Bible-bashing rant during this, called the individuals who left the room when he was bashing on the Bible, called them pansy A's, word I won't repeat on the air. He was a bully in and of himself. And he's also a hypocrite. But it was a really, really good example of how this bullying movement, born out of something that had nothing to do with bullying or civility, January 8th locally by Ron Barber, is just a means to silence criticism. Much in the way that the word racist has been used when we're talking about, say, illegal immigration. But I got an email here from Marilyn. She says, the biggest bully we have to contend with is the government. At every level of local, state, and federal, we have bureaucrats from agencies and commissions and councils and boards telling us what we shouldn't drive, what we shouldn't eat, what we shouldn't say, and what we shouldn't think. Kids in school are the least of our problems. Your stories prove my point. How long will it be before you'll be arrested for using the words lunatic and illegal? Well, I don't think, I think she was making a joke there. I don't think that's going to happen. But it does go and tell you how far they'll go to stifle free speech in the name of trying to stop criticism and opposition to whatever agenda you're speaking at or controversy you're speaking about. I got another email here. Writes into justice at 1041thetruth.com. Let's see. Let's get rid of the I word. He agrees. MoveOn.org's got an ad saying ban the I word being illegal. Doing that thing with my fingers. And let's start calling them what they truly are, criminals. They have committed a crime when they came into this country without approval. And we've actually seen this move towards getting rid of illegal alien for a while now. It hasn't really grabbed hold. And I think the reason for that is what I mentioned last hour, and that is because of the fact that when it comes to illegal immigration, you often see it cross party lines. It's a very much right or wrong, black and white. There's, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion, there's not much of a gray area there. 751-1041 is the phone number. I got a quick one here for you. I just want to share with you. This comes out of Sweden. The prosecutor's office in the Swiss state of Argau confirmed late last week that a woman died in the town of Wolfhalden in eastern Switzerland. Okay? The local Swiss newspaper reports that the woman starved herself to death after embarking on a spiritual diet, as my voice cracks, a spiritual diet that required her to stop eating or drinking and to live off of sunlight alone. A spiritual diet that required her to stop eating or drinking and to live off of sunlight alone. I don't think that was in the Bible. And the sun shall nourish you. Granted, I probably don't read the Bible as much as I should, but I'm fairly certain if that spiritual diet wasn't based on the Word of God. The newspaper reported Wednesday that the unnamed Swiss woman in her 50s decided to follow the radical fast in 2010 after viewing an Austrian documentary about an Indian guru who claims to have lived this way for 70 years. Yes, unfortunately, what was not shown in that documentary was that guru when the mics were off, snacking on ho-hos and Twinkies and ding-dongs. The paper says there have been similar cases of self-starvation in Germany, Britain, and Australia. The prosecutor's office in the Swiss state confirmed Wednesday the woman died in January in the town of Wolfhalden, and again, she was trying to live off of sunlight alone. Well, maybe she was posing as a tanning booth. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe it was artificial light that she was... Natural selection? Perhaps. All right, moving on. UNIDOS. I still don't think I've ever pronounced that correctly. And I don't care. But UNIDOS is the Lord of the Flies group made up of mostly students who support TUSD's disbanded Mexican American Studies program. They have been prohibited from using meeting space at the University of Arizona's Mexican American Studies Department. Now, this group was born out of a bunch of adults who were failing in their arguments to support the Raza Studies program. When you go back to the beginning and the whole reason why this UNIDOS group was created, those that have been following the story long enough, you know that it was because they ran out of arguments. They had, over the course of 3 years, the Raza Studies program had been exposed for what it was, a radical victimization, indoctrination, anti-American course. And as the truth began to unfold, we got the information out on this show. We found out about it from John Ward's article back in May of 2008. You had other individuals who came in and carried the torch for this. John Munger, Lori Honeycutt, the Honeycutts themselves, Arizona Daily Independent now. These are the people that the Chisonans United for a Sound School District, those on the school governing board member, Hicks. We had a lot of individuals that picked up and really began to spread the exposure that we had done on this show about the program. And as more people found out about it, the arguments in support of the Raza Studies program just began to fall by the wayside. So the adults ended up recruiting a bunch of these kids, a lot of them who weren't even in TUSD, because they ran out of arguments to create this UNIDOS group to go and protest. And these are the kids that went and chained themselves to the desk and then recently zip-tied their hands and set off smoke bombs. Okay. The group had been using space at the University of Arizona campus for an unknown period of time through its associations with the Social Justice Education Project. Social Justice Education Project's use of department space has been suspended, according to Antonio Estrada, the department head of the University of Arizona's Mexican American Studies program. University student organizations like MICHA are allowed to use the space on campus, and we have allowed them to do so in our department. However, it's my understanding, Estrada said, that UNIDOS is not an official U of A student organization, which is why we are no longer permitting them to use the Mexican American Studies department. Estrada said his decision had nothing to do with TUSC Superintendent John Petticone, who reached out to Estrada in January after the district decided to suspend the classes. Petticone asked that Estrada talk to his facility about supporting TUSG's efforts to educate students and discourage activity that is considered to be disruptive and against school rules. Look, it's because they were a band of violent misfits. You know, whatever reason they give to the public, it was just a front excuse. They really just don't trust this loose knit of misfits. They were a gang, plain and simple. And based off their actions, they shouldn't trust them. You know, this is no different than, this group is no different than the Little Rascals and the He-Man and the He-Man's Woman Haters Club that they put together. They printed up some Photoshop, oh look, we're UNIDOS, and they made some t-shirts, and they called themselves an organization and a group, but there really wasn't any validity to that. And their actions have shown that no, they probably shouldn't be on the University of Arizona campus because, you know what, they kind of can't be trusted. That's the reason why they're not allowed on there. And justifiably so. 751-1041 is the phone number. All right, coming up. Police are trying new tactics as graffiti soars citywide. I'm telling you, graffiti bounty hunters, I still think that's an ingenious idea. Just get citizens out there to track these individuals, report them to police, and lock them up. 751-1041 is the phone number. 70 degrees outside. Your high today is 90. You're listening to the Jon Justice Show on 104.1 The Truth, Tucson's News Talk FM.